Sir, I move that the disaster management bill be taken into consideration. The bill was introduced in the House a few months ago. Then the bill was referred to the Standing Committee to Home Affairs and the committee has submitted its report. There are some amendments suggested by the Standing Committee. The government has accepted a few of them. Now, the accepted amendments are moved by the government. This bill is brought before this House in order to deal with disasters and calamities that occur in the country. Sir, at the national level, there shall be a National Disaster Management Authority. This body would be chaired by the Prime Minister. There will be 9 other members also who will be sitting in this body to discharge the duties that are cast upon them under this law. At the state level, there shall be a State Disaster Management Authority which will be chaired by the Chief Minister, and there may be a few members to be decided by the Chief Minister who will be sitting with the chairperson of the authority to discharge their duties. This law suggests that at the district level there shall be a District Disaster Management Authority to be chaired by the district collector, and as per the recommendation made by the standing committee that the elected representative of the people should be the co-chairman of this body, we have accepted this also. Now at the fourth level, there are local authorities like the corporations, the municipalities and the gram panchayats. These are responsible for helping the people when a disaster occurs. They are actually at the cutting edge. Sir, there are two things that we want to do. One, to provide relief to the people who suffer in the natural calamities or the man-made disasters. We have also to help the people who suffer with shelters and things like that. That is a provision which has been made which will help the people to get shelters and to get some kind of employment also. The next step which has to be taken by the government is to reconstruct the infrastructure and rehabilitate people who have suffered in the disasters. But the emphasis is not on what we do after the disasters taken place. The emphasis is on what we do before the disasters occur. We want to have our own policies and the plans to prepare ourselves to meet the disasters that may occur. For this purpose, we are creating certain bodies at different levels. It is also suggested that there should be a national disaster response force. In fact, we have 8 battalions earmarked to discharge the duties. These 8 battalions come from the Border Security Force and other paramilitary forces. We are asking the state government also to have their own battalions which will be responding to the duties that have to be discharged when the disaster occur. Then the district officer or the men in the field who is actually working there should be given certain responsibilities and certain authorities. When the disaster occurs and if a place has to be occupied, it should not become necessary for him to follow the lengthy procedure because that much time is not available. So he is given certain emergency powers. At the same time, the various authorities shall have certain funds available with them to provide immediate relief. These funds are going to be small funds which can be used on the first day or on the second day of the disaster. The big amounts of money which would be required to deal with these disasters shall come through the government of India and the state government. There are high level bodies at the government of India's level which are given certain amounts of money that can be utilized for meeting the demands of the people suffering from disasters. Now, the Finance Commission has given a report, and according to the Finance Commission, certain amount of money is kept at the disposal of the union government to utilize that amount of money over and above. If any funds are required, the matter is referred to the Planning Commission. When we get the report from the state government, the matter is referred to the Planning Commission, and the Planning Commission is consultant with the concerned ministries, decides as to what kind of funds should be given to the state government. That matter is taken to the cabinet, and then the cabinet sanctions the required money, and that money is given. So this act is mainly for the purpose of preparing the policies. Earthquakes have been taking place in many parts of the country. What is to be done to see that the people do not suffer? One of the things which can be done is to construct the houses in such a fashion that the houses are earthquake resistant. Then it is also provided that if people are suffering because of floods, what kind of steps can be taken to see that their sufferings are mitigated. It is provided that each of the ministries at the national level will provide for meeting the demands when the disasters occur and preparing to mitigate the suffering of the people. The medical facilities should also be available, and there are so many things which have to be done. So these are the things which have to be done by these authorities, but the main job of these authorities is to suggest policies, prepare plans, and at the same time be ready to help the people on the occasion when the disaster takes place, and later on the state government can take over to help them. The policies and plans have to be kept ready. Equipments have to be collected. In certain places, they will require boats. They will also require helicopters to provide the food material and things like that. After the disaster occurs, medical help has to be given. Sir, I thank you for giving me time to speak the stuff.